Welcome to Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie, a Planting Positive Seeds podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie. I am so excited to bring you the interview on tonight. We have Miss Shawnee Palmer, and we're going to make sure that she is going to tell you all about, what she's doing and bring plant some positive seeds in the lives of our listeners here on tonight. And so I just thank you all for joining me here each and every Monday to be motivated and to help out the mission of empowering and encouraging other people. And so without further ado, I'm going to bring in my guest. How are you, Ms. Palmer? How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing excited. I'm excited. How am I doing excited? I'm excited, but I'm doing very, very well. I'm always glad to have people come onto the broadcast and share their stories and, help the listeners be encouraged to do things that they set out in life to do. So could you share a little bit about yourself with my listeners?
Yes, and thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here and to be able to connect more with your organization. I love everything that you're doing with it. So I am a licensed clinical social worker, and I've been in the social services in the medical field for over 10 years now, just a wide range of things where I've done medical records to nursing assistant and being a case manager. So working with a wide range of populations from social services to nursing homes. So I currently own my own private practice that I've had full-time for over 2 years. And I really just love working with the people and doing the work that I do. It's just been very rewarding experience for me to be able to not only overcome my own issues, but help other people do it as well and help them create blueprints for themselves during their healing journeys.
Wow. I just want to say I am so, just excited about everything you just said. My first degree was in social work and sociology. So when I first started out college, I was like, I want to help people. And, I wanted to be in there. So, and congratulations on having, say your own practice. Like, that was a dream of mine always, but it's so good. I just commend you for the work and the time that you put into it, because I started out in 2005 as a case manager too, starting at the bottom, helping out. And it was back then, I think they always said seriously, I think it was emotional disturbance, and they've changed it, they've changed the terminology over the years. And so mental health has always been a place that I found my backing in, because I'm also have 2 degrees, 2 masters in counseling. So the work that you're doing, I just want to say that is so needed. And so continue, to do everything that you've done as a licensed social worker in your community. And so you're needed. And I'm just excited about that. So can you tell me a little bit about what inspired you to go on this path? Because normally, it's something within us that kind of pricks our heart that say, hey, I want to be a social worker, or something that you've experienced or maybe you've seen in your life. Can you share with my listeners just a little bit about what inspires you to do what you do?
Yeah. So I have the typical background of many different people where I grew up in a single parent household.
Yes.
My father wasn't around a whole lot. So I know a lot about poverty and then the poverty mindset. So experienced a lot of things, domestic violence in general. But drugs and alcohol, like I was around all of these things all of the time, along with death, just dealing with family members passing away at a younger age and having to deal with all of that. So I was always that person growing up where friends would come to me, family members would come to me and ask for support. And it was just naturally easy for me to do that. And I'm that resourceful person. Like if you ask me anything, I could pull it up and be like, here you go. This is how to do it. Right.
Yeah.
So I just got a lot of experience at a young age from that. And then being oldest of five and also having to be, play the mother role for my siblings at a younger age as well. It's like I had to step into maturity before I needed to. So I had a lot of life challenges that came along with that. And it was really difficult. I had a lot of struggles, as many people do. But me being able to overcome those things and being very
Yes.
about helping other people and being able to put aside my issues and say, you know what, I can step in and help you. I may not be able to help myself, but I can help you right now, because
Right.
just that focus, like my lens in my tunnel vision is just like zooming in on people, because I just have a pure and genuine heart. So, but having
Yeah.
also got me in a lot of trouble.
I know.
Mhm.
I've experienced some of that too. Well, I just want to say that it isn't easy when you have to go through the things in your life and different things you have to experience, but it is worth it, like you said, when you can come out on top and you can be solution focused for other people, when you can help them to navigate through the waters of their life, and even if it's pulling from, like you said, your own experience, because we do often find ourselves in places that we have to learn the lesson in order to be able to pull someone else out of it. And I can, share the same, like you said, I came from a single parent home. And so I, experiencing different things. And then, us being the ones to want to go help other people. So that was like the reason for me too. Even when I started off with social work and in like counseling, I was like, I want to, help others find their ways. And it's always been a part of my life to impact lives. And so you're doing that, with your job and with your heart. And we do have to have a compassion heart, but we also have to, I've had to put boundaries in place, as well, because I know that my heart is open, for people. And then sometimes you have to be able to, have a level of discernment, and know when to help and when to pull back and when to set those boundaries. And so we learn as we go. Sometimes the textbooks don't always give us everything we need when we're out in the field and when we're standing face to face with a different family and different things. Because I learned a lot through my internships, and I know you probably did too. A lot of things that we did not learn in the classroom, we got it firsthand as we began to, go into the homes of others. And so, once again, I just thank you for, saying yes to your calling and to, your practice and being a counselor and helping others. You're aspiring to do. So I wanted to ask, like, on this journey, and I know there are a lot of things, even sometimes the simple moments that just, light up our hearts. But I wanted to know, like, throughout your journey, what are some of the achievements and some of the highlights that are special to you, that you've accomplished over the years in your journey with being a licensed social worker and having your own practice?
I think the thing that stands out the most for me is the feedback that I get from the
Mhm.
people that I work with, the impressions that I leave on their lives. Like when people tell me thank you, like you really played a major role in my healing, and they can come back and tell me that years later, like that means the most to me, more than anything. So the amount of people who have given me those types of feedback is like amazing. I never knew that I would be able to do such a thing. Like I kind of downplayed my abilities, my gifts for a really long time until I was starting to see the results, which was a lot of change behavior with the population that I was working with. And me actually, becoming a full-time entrepreneur was something that I had never imagined. I thought that, it's something I wanted to do, but I had
Yeah.
no idea how I was going to do it. It was not within my reach because I didn't grow up around people who are entrepreneurs. So I started putting myself around people who are entrepreneurs, and that's when that thought of it started to grow more. So I think that just the feedback that I've gotten from the clientele has been most impactful for me.
Yeah. And always, and I agree with you, because that's how I am even as an author. I didn't grow up with people saying I'm gonna be an author when I grow up. I just grew up seeing, Maya Angelou and knowing, reading poems by Nikki Giovanni and aspiring to impact lives, just like they did, and even just, on a day-to-day basis. But when you get those people that come back and, just tell you, you made a difference in my life, and, they just speak those things to you, then you know that you're doing what you set out to do. And like, those are the most important moments of your life and highlights, because I get that all the time, even when people read, some of the books that I've written, because I can't be everywhere at one time. So when they come back or they leave a review and they say, that it helped, I know that that does something for me, as well. And I know that, like you said, years later, you've made an impact. And then that one person that you've made an impact on, they are making an impact on somebody else's life. So you're still leaving a trickle of hope and empowerment in the people as they go along. So that's just wonderful always to hear. Now, I know we have the positivity of what you've done and what you've accomplished in the highlights. I always want to share with my listeners, times that you had to overcome an obstacle, because I want them to, know that, you can still get back up. And so if you have a moment, maybe one or two that you can highlight in your life that you've had to, overcome some things, but you were able to do it and to get back up and keep moving forward. Could you share some of that with our listeners?
Yeah. So I know me being able to forgive my parents for the childhood experiences would be my number one thing that I would say that I had to overcome in my life.
Okay.
Because there was so much that I felt like I needed from them that they were not able to give me. And I had to forgive them so that way I could, kind of like give myself that support that I needed to truly heal from it. And if I, decided to be nasty and hateful towards them, then I would just still have that on me. And I wouldn't be able to move past my life, because that, me not being able to forgive them was creating blockages in my life,
Yeah.
We have issues with professional relationships, intimate relationships, just friendships, because those are the first, set of relationships that I started to form from a really young age. And they didn't supply me with everything I needed. So I'm working with people who have parents and who have the same issues. So it's like, I can't help somebody else if I don't find forgiveness within my heart for my own parents. I can't give advice and not follow through with it. So I really had to work on that day in and day out. I was writing letters to my parents. I did not give them to my parents because it was something that was very intimate and personal for me, because I don't feel like, other people need to be in on my healing journey, specifically for me, in order for me to move past it. Other people need that, but I did not need that, because it's kind of a self-starter, very independent with things. And I was okay with holding that safe space for just me alone. And I was able to do it. And I don't have frustration and anger towards them. I understand. Once I came to a place of understanding, I was able to look at their lives and say, well, why are they this way? And I was able to pick apart pieces, and it just made sense.
Yeah.
And but this is how I changed. This is how I changed the generation,
Yes.
But I don't, pass on to my son, but this is also what I do pass along to my son. I get to pass along this knowledge and wisdom that I was able to gain with my experiences with my parents.
Yeah, you just said so many powerful nuggets of just forgiving, for one, because there's so many times that people get stuck in different moments of their life because they're holding on so tight to something that has long passed, but because of your unwilling to forgive or just to go through that process for yourself. And I love the fact that you said you wrote letters, and being that I'm a writer, God started me writing letters, and I had to learn that I tell people all the time, whether I was angry, sad, happy, I still had to write. Like, I could not let the feelings stay boggled. That freed me. And so that's one thing, listeners, I want you to understand. When you're by yourself in your journey of growth, she just gave you an important nugget that you can write that letter. You can even type it up in your phone, but don't send it. Just do it for yourself, because it's important for your growth. It's important for you not to be stuck in a place. And it's important, like she said, for your relationship, because you're so right. Like that basis of that relationship taught you on how to interact and to mingle with so many relationships. And that's one of the things that, I, in my books, because I talk about overcoming obstacles all the time, and, things that I had to forgive and things that I had to let go. And then the mindset of how I had to begin to put on a new mindset to think of things in order for me to raise above what was like a lid, or some things that I would never taught. And so God helped me to see that I was validated, in that, what he had promised for me was going to still come to pass, regardless if anybody in my immediate surroundings thought or not. And so that's, oh, that's so powerful, because if we don't get past those things, we halt our life and we stay stuck at a place. So listeners, I pray that you're taking notes, and that you're getting all of the wisdom that she is giving to you, because we have to forgive. And forgiveness is not always for them, but it's so much for you. It's for your growth. It's for where you are. And so once you learn to love yourself enough to get it done, then you can walk up with your head held high. And like she said, leaving a legacy for her child. She's teaching him some things that she didn't get, but she had to go through it to learn a different way, to be able to teach him a different way. And I often do the same thing with my sons. I always try to take an objective look at what I learned and what I had to unlearn,
Mm-hmm.
because don't want to cycle. You don't want it to continue to go on. You want to change. And I said to myself, and I said to God, I'm going to be the one that draws the line in the sand and say, we're going to do something different. And so I really commend you, and I thank you for sharing that, because, we do have to overcome our obstacles in our life. They're not always easy. But we do have to do it in order to get to where we are. In order for you, like you said, to be able to pull someone else up, or to teach them, show them how you've overcame, you have to be a product of your own experience to say, I've overcame this. And so this is where I am now. And this is how I can tell you I'm an expert at,
Right.
going through this process. So thank you so much. So you say you have a son. My next question is, because we do work, we work, we love our jobs, we love our missions and different things that we do. What are some things that you do outside of your practice and social work?
Okay. So I love to read. I have probably about like 4 or 5 books in rotation, because I
Wow.
feel like knowledge is never ending. Like I'm
Exactly.
always going to be a student for life. So I love to do that, and I actually have a lot of pleasure with doing it. I love to travel. Um,
Okay.
Traveling and being able to explore and see things is something that I didn't get a chance to do when I was younger. So I travel as much as I can, but thanks to COVID, of course, not too much traveling. But I love traveling, going to different places, learning about different cultures. I'm really big on like playing games, board games, trivia games, any type of game you name it. I love doing that, and getting together and having like family events and things like that, where you cook and just have a good time. But I'm pretty much an open book. I like to try different things. So the only thing I probably will not do is skydive. I'm not jumping out of an airplane,
Really?
but hiking, I'll do zip lining, I'll do all of
Yeah.
those things. But I love being in nature. So I'm an outside person. If I could spend time in nature, I would live in the country if I could, and just be
Hmm.
near the woods and all that. So those are the things I like to do.
Well, that sounds amazing. I would join you in zip lining. I want to do that, and hiking. Those are some things that I, want to do. And it's always good. And I asked that question because, like I know for me as a writer, sometimes I have to step away, to clear my mind. So I have to have, something else that I can do that will allow me to still have a life, and still, what I'm saying, show up for me after we've poured out for others, after we've stood in the gap for them. So that's the reason why I want to know, I want my listeners to know that it's okay that you can be full-time, entrepreneur. You can, work a job, work your own job, but having something that you can do that's just for you, that you can have some fun, that you can have some laughter and some happiness in your life. And so it seems like to me you have a plethora of ideas and things to do, and so that you can have downtime and just have time to relax and love a life. And so it's always amazing when you can, when you take that time, because I often talk about self-love and self-care and your self-worth. And I think COVID has helped us to take a little time, since we can't go, a lot of places. We make sure that we putting ourselves first when we're used to doing so much for others. And so we had to check in with us, this year, to make sure I'm okay, and how my life is going is okay. And so we kind of like put the magnifying glass on us, because we were able to sit still for a little bit of time. So thank you for sharing that with the listeners. I hope that, you all out there, she's reading, she's traveling, and playing games and having time with the family. And so we just want you to know that it's important for you to have some time for yourself. Always great to have time for yourself. It's been amazing. This interview has been so amazing talking to you, because I love always talking to those who have a heart, for working with others, being in social work for, 10 years, been in the field for 10 years, and healthcare, and just, I mean, I'm so excited that you have your own private practice. And I like what you said earlier, how you aligned yourself with others who were doing what you wanted to do, and then thus you accomplish what you wanted. And so that's just something out there for the listeners to know, that if you're in a you're in a group or a circle, or your surroundings is not doing the dreams that you have within your heart, then you have to stretch your horizon a little bit, and look outside of your norm, so that you can do the same thing. And I just want to share with you, just like with my life and with Planting Positive Seeds, when I started it, I think when God asked me to start it in 2013, he just said, you're going to have a conference, and I need you to help me get my children. And his children being, everybody, men, women, girls, and boys. And so I didn't know the first thing about it, but I said yes. I said yes to it. And so once I started it, 3 months later, by November of 2013, I had my first conference. And when I had it, I had a mixture of people come. I had youth. They came, and it's like my heart was content, because, once I set out to do what he had asked me to do, it's just like the people came because our heart was right. We were postured. There were those who needed what I have to give. And so I know that throughout your journey, and continuing on to your journey, there's so many out there that need what you have to give. And so I just want you to continue to do you, to shine bright, and to just accomplish, everything that you desire. Now, I don't know where you're based out of, but this is your time to just tell people, even if you do virtual, whatever you have that you can offer to others, they can get in contact with you. You can share your information with them, so that they'll know how to get in contact with you.
Yeah, so I am located in St. Louis, but I'm licensed in Missouri, Illinois, Colorado, to be able to do virtual sessions with individuals.
Awesome.
So anybody that's international, you don't have to have a license there, so I can do virtual with them as well.
Okay.
I wanted to be able to expand the services that I provide to people in different platforms. So I did write a book, and it'll be releasing in a couple of weeks. I'm really excited about that book. It's called Shifting Your Mindset, A Guide to Overcome Depression, Anxiety, and Trauma. And a lot
Awesome.
of the points within the book are around like life experiences that I've had, to just give scenarios of different struggles with those things, talking about forgiveness. Like we spoke about today, I have a chapter on that, and I give you some different questions that you can ask yourself to help reflect on that, and then some exercise that you can actually do to implement into your life every single day, so that way you can work towards that healing phase that you need. I talk about abandonment. I talk about the importance of trusting yourself and that self-love, and really building yourself up. I'm really big on, really identify your strengths, so that way you get ready to tackle those weaknesses, such as those things that really hurt you. you'll have the strength and the energy to be able to do it. So I have the book aligned in that manner, so that way you can strengthen yourself, tackle those weaknesses, and then look forward to the future. So making gains through life, so that way your future self, can look back and thank you.
Yeah, that is so awesome. Well, I know that as soon as your book comes out, I'm going to look it up because I'm always loving to support others. And also the book of your magnitude, because it's speaking the language that I love to speak to, so like women that come to the conferences, or young girls who need help in those areas of their life so that they won't get stuck. Once again, I'm so excited. I thank you for the show. If you can give, I don't know if you said it, but can you just give how they can get in contact with you?
Yeah, so you can get in contact with me by visiting my website at loveandserenitywellness.com. And you can also reach me at support@loveandserenitywellness.com as well, as far as email goes. But I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Love and Serenity Wellness. So you can connect with me on those different platforms. I have a Facebook support group that are for people who need support on, enhancing their emotions, so that way they can, really get the support that they need on their healing journey. So I provide content and then just more one-on-one interactions like live videos and things like that. But you can also look me up on Facebook, Shawnee Palmer. And I have my Facebook where I put a lot of different content out there for individuals as well. So you can connect with me on all of those sources.
All right. Well, everybody, listeners, you've heard it on tonight. Please get in contact with Ms. Shawnee Palmer. Go to her website. She can do, her services are all over. So she can do virtual. So if you're not in the area that she's in, if you need some help out there, please, we have people that are out here that can help you. And so look her up. I'll make sure that I put all of your information, in the show once it airs, so that they can go and look you up. Once again, I'm humbled and thankful that you graced our show on tonight with everything that you're doing. Continue to do everything. And I will look forward to having you back on the show just for a follow-up.
Yes, I thank you so much for having me, and I'm looking forward to your growth.
All right. Well, we thank you, everyone, for coming on Planting Positive Seeds. Make sure that you join us on every Monday at 7:30 Eastern, here where we plant positive seeds in the lives of others. This is your host, LaDonna Marie, signing off from Inspirational Talks.
I have gained so many valuable lessons from my experiences. In writing Things I Wish I Knew, Letters to My Little Sisters is a collection of heartfelt conversations with young girls and young adults all over the world, helping them to be prepared for things ahead.
This has been another purpose-packed episode of Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie, a Planting Positive Seeds podcast. Please remember to like, share, and tell your friends about the podcast. Stay tuned for many more Inspirational Talks with LaDonna Marie.